you got on your bed and you said you were going to just listen to a podcast before you sleep, and then all of a sudden you looked at your WhatsApp and somebody sends you a nice funny YouTube video and you said, that looks nice, and then you watch it, and then you know how it happens. As you watch that one video, then it plays another video, then another video, and you are still there 1 hour later, still watching YouTube videos. We know, right? Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. On this channel, we help women in the corporate world launch and pivot into work that they truly love. One of the key things that stop women, and actually everybody, from launching into the careers that they love or trying to change course and doing something new is the time factor. I don't have enough time for this. I'm already working a 9 to 5 that is almost draining and sucking the life out of me. How can I find the time to look for something new? How can I find the time to do my 9 to 5 job, take care of my family, and also find time to look for work? So we're going to delve into that, and we're going to find ways to become more productive with the time that we do have. Because let's face it, everybody has 24 hours and there are people that are making it work. It's all about being a little bit planned and sticking to a schedule that works for you. So let's get into it. So the first tip I'm going to give is plan ahead. How do you plan ahead? I usually plan for the week, the night before. So on Sunday evening, I have my cup of tea, my cup of cocoa, and I sit down strategically in the evening and I just work through the things that I want to achieve in that week. And I plan it for the week on Sunday. Then I also do my planning for the night, for each day, the night before. So that's what you need to do. Plan the night before. What does that do for you? It helps in your subconscious. You already know what you're going to do. So once you get up, you're already excited, you're already energized, you are focused on the items that you need to get achieved. So planning the night before is really, really important if you want to be super productive and get things done. The second thing I will say is try not to multitask. What do I mean? Pick only 3 things to focus on. The next thing I want to say is focus. Focus on the 3 most important things that will help you get to your destination. So perhaps you have a goal for the next 30 days or you have a goal for the next 1 week. The 3 most important things that will help you get to that destination are the things you need to have on your list. So you're always going to be thinking, what do I absolutely need to do? What can I do by myself? What can I delegate? And what is absolutely important that needs to get done today. We'll talk about delegation in a minute, but in terms of what you absolutely need to do. For instance, if you have a business, the key thing you need to focus on is what are the money making activities that I need to do today to help me get the results that I'm trying to achieve by the end of the month. Your money-making activities could include building an email list, inviting people to come onto your email list. It could include creating a new freebie to get more people to come to your landing page or onto your social media platform. If you are in the corporate world and you are trying to change into a new industry or into a new line of work, the key things you want to do in that week are things like, I want to network. Maybe your first task is to make sure I network with one person in the industry I am trying to get into to have an informational interview. Or it could be, I'm going to sit down and revamp my CV. Just take one activity. You see how easy it is when you take one thing. If in that week, the only task or out of the 3 tasks that you want to achieve is 1, revamp your CV, you will gradually see that you are making progress slowly but very surely. The next thing I will say is have a consolidated schedule. You don't have a schedule for the family life and then there's another schedule for work and have another schedule for this and another schedule for that. No. Because you can't separate them. You're still the one person that's going to do each and every one of these tasks. So it's really important that you make a schedule that works for you and works with your priorities. So for me, I'm a mom as well as working in my corporate job and doing this. So I have to be so tight on my schedule. I have to have time in the morning for the kids. I have to make sure that I have time for me, for my own self-care before I go into my day job. And then I have to make time to do, even if it's just one activity, to help this business that I have started to grow. It helps me to be able to have one view. When I look at my schedule for the week, I can see everything in one place. I can see the priorities for that week. If I have my daughter's recital, or if I have something that my child is doing, I can see clearly I have made time for it in the schedule. It's in the planner, and I don't get to forget it. If there is a career coaching call that I have, it's in the same planner. If there's a deadline at work that I really need to get cracking with, it's in the planner. Everything is in one place, so you can juggle up your activities and juggle your priorities for the day appropriately. What I will say is that it's always very important that when you start your day, start it with you in mind. Take the time to do some self-care in the morning, whether that is meditation, whether that is praying, whether that is some exercise as well to keep your joints, especially now that many of us at home, there's a tendency to sit a lot. So make sure that you're also taking the time to exercise yourself. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is remove all distractions. You know, those distractions that make you lose focus on what you're doing. You got on your bed and you said you were going to just listen to a podcast before you sleep, and then all of a sudden you looked at your WhatsApp and somebody sends you a nice funny YouTube video and you said, that looks nice, and then you watch it, and then you know how it happens. As you watch that one video, then it plays another video, then another video, and you are still there 1 hour later, still watching YouTube videos. We know, right? So what you need to do is remove all those distractions. And there are apps that help you do that. There's an app called Tool Freedom. So Tool Freedom is an app that will help you set the amount of time that you're allowed to be on the internet for, and to shut down your phone after that period of time. And it will help you to stop being distracted. Another way to reduce your distractions is to pause your emails. Have a set time when you look at emails. You know those emails will always come. You know there's always going to be something you're going to need to respond to. But have set times of the day that you look at those emails, so that you are not living a reactive life, but you're living a proactive life. So for instance, you can decide that in the morning I'm most productive. Personally, I'm most productive in the morning. So I don't like looking at emails in the morning. I prefer to look at emails the night before or the evening before, so that I know and I can plan things I need to respond to. And then around 11 or 12 noon, and then go back into my emails for the first time in the day and start responding. I have done the most productive things that I need to do in the first few hours of the day. One of the apps that is really, really good for helping you pause the emails that come to you is an app called Inbox Pause. And there's another one called Boomerang. If you get those two apps, they will help you pause your emails. And if you're in the office, the same thing. You can have an auto response for particular times of the day when you are busy. The next thing you need to consider is you have to learn to prioritize. Prioritize what is important. I've talked about it already. Prioritize what is most important to get done to help you achieve the goals you want to achieve in the month. Prioritize. There's no point doing something that you can do 3 months down the line when you have a target for next week that you have not hit. Prioritize your work and don't leave things to the last minute. What happens when you don't prioritize is that when you have something important to do, you end up having to rush it and do a crash course to get things done. But if you prioritize what is the most important thing that you need to get done, you will get it done as quickly and as efficiently as you can. When you're thinking about prioritization, remember, being busy does not mean being productive. I'm talking about this because this used to affect me a lot. So when I first started having kids and I started my passion project and coaching, and I was still working on my career, I used to find myself constantly overwhelmed with all the tasks that I needed to complete. When people would ask me to do other things, I'd always say, I'm busy, I don't have time, I just have too much on my plate. Then I found out that actually sometimes at the end of the week, I wasn't sure what I actually had completed. You couldn't point to, this is the one thing that I had completed in that week. And that was because I wasn't clear on the outputs I wanted to achieve in the week. So right now, what I do is, when I prioritize, I'm clear on what do I want to achieve by the end of this week. What does success look like for me by the time this week is over? And that's what your focus should be. You ask the question when you're writing your goals I'm planning for the week. What does success look like for me in this week? What is the output that you want from the week? What do you want to have to say I have achieved or you have achieved in that week? That will help you focus on the goals or on the activities that will help you reach that goal. The next thing I'll say is box your activities into specific timelines. Don't give yourself 3 hours for a 20-minute task. You're going to use 3 hours to do the task because you've given yourself 3 hours. You get distracted, you come back to it. You get distracted, you come back to it. But when you know you don't have the time, or you have boxed yourself to a particular time, you will see that you'll get the same job done in the amount of time you have available. It's called the Parkinson's law. So fit in the activities within the time that you have. I always like this saying, done is better than perfect. Don't wait to make everything perfect. Just get it done and keep on moving. Don't wait for it to be perfect. Just get it done and keep on moving. Now, the final thing I want to say on this is don't beat yourself up. I'm giving the tips today, but I'll be the first to admit that sometimes I do not meet up to my own standards. And I'll be the first to admit that sometimes I will leave things to the very last minute. In fact, I will be the first to admit that sometimes I do crash. I do a crash course when I need to get something completed. Sometimes I just leave it and then I delve into it at the last minute and I get it done. But you don't beat yourself about it. You stand up, you reflect, you do your audits, you find out where you are, what you've achieved, and what you need to improve on the next week, and you just improve. Tomorrow is another day to do better. Tomorrow is another day to get it right. But what I found out is if you do this planning and if you do this prioritization and if you remove distractions, if you had 3 things on that list, 9 times out of 10, at the end of the week, at least you would have gotten 1 or 1.5 of those activities done, which is a better place to be than not getting anything done and not moving yourself in the direction that you want to go.